Let's discuss the use of food preservative. As we discussed different other unit operations such as heating or chilling, pasteurization or sterilization, food preservation can be done through different additives as well. That is generally uh, easier operation, and that can have multiple functions. There can be other additives that can be added to food for variety of other reasons as well. So we'll discuss about all these groups in this presentation. They normally compound, they would be preventing the bacterial growth, microbial growth within food. These preservatives can be used in not only in food but in medicines and other cosmetic applications as well. They can be natural, they can be synthetic, so they can come from different sources, although the natural ones are preferred and they would have more consumer appeals. Uh, they would have many of the applications in food. For example, we'll discuss different classes of preservatives. Antioxidants is one. They would be delaying the onset of oxidation of lipids or fat based products, so oxidation can be reduced by use of antioxidants. So these antioxidants are generally added to cooking oils or margarines, butters and fats, etc. Then nutrients are also added in many cases as preservative, because in many foods there are chances that certain treatments would be reducing the amount of nutrients available within these foods. So it's possible to add these nutrients in order to overcome the loss that is expected from certain food products. So these nutrients can be added to regain that loss. Similarly, flavorings are added to food very routinely, and there are different classes of flavorings. The flavors can be natural flavors, there can be synthetic flavors, and then there could be another class called as natural identical flavors. So these different classes of flavors can be added to food, whether they are derived from natural sources as natural flavors. They can be all chemically synthesized flavors, or they can be chemically synthesized flavors but exactly with the same chemistry, called as nature identical flavors. The another class is flavor enhancers. Like you would know, this Chinese salt, also called as monosodium glutamate. This is a flavor enhancer that would add up umami taste or meat like taste when it is added to the food products. Then there is another class of additives given to food. These are acidulants. They are basically all acids, so that's why they would be reducing the pH of food, and they would be making it more. They would be changing the pH towards more acidic side. For example, in case of pickled products, the pH is reduced, and same happens with the yogurt as well, where if you can add different acids, the milk can be converted into cheese or yogurt depending upon acid and pH. Then there can be sometime we need to increase the pH of food as well, so we need to add these alkaline compounds such as sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. They can be added to food as alkaline compounds, or increase the alkalinity of food for any functional reason. Uh, the sweeteners are a big class of additives which are added. They all have got different uh, chemistries. They come from all different sources. The few of the examples here of the sweeteners that are used, they can be fructose, that comes from most of the fruits. Molasses, they come from sugar cane, mostly as a byproduct in the sugar industry. Honey is a good sweetener, natural sweetener. Maple sugars are a natural sweetener. Lactose from milk, maltose from malt or other barley products. Xylitol, sorbitol, mannitol, these are all the artificial sweeteners. Aspartame, saccharin, these are all artificial sweeteners which add sweetness to your food, but they do not add much to the calories. And then there could be different starches, they are used as sweeteners. If you talk about enzymes, they are used predominantly in many industries, including baking industry and other food industries, especially for making juices or other end products from fruits and vegetables. This class can include invertases, pectinases, cellulases, lipases, etc. So these different enzymes, they have got industrial applications. They are used in food for a variety of reasons. There's another class of food preservatives or compound that are added to food. They are called as sequestrants. These sequestrants would be actually binding up the metals present within the food. Because this metal would have, they can lead to certain undesirable changes or reactions that can take place within food. For example, in cooking oil or vegetable oil, these metals would be helping oxidation of the food, so producing undesirable oxidized flavors or end products within the food. So if you can add sequestrants, they would bind up these metals, and the food preservation can be achieved by adding of these sequestrants. Then there are other compounds called as polyhydric alcohols. They can be naturally present in food, or they can be added to food in order to improve the texture property or moisture retention properties. One of the very common example is glycerine or glycerol or glycol. They can all be added to food in order to increase the moisture retention properties of the products, food products. Surface active agents are another class of compounds which are used as preservative. For example, there can be lecithins found in egg yolk, and this lecithin is used to make mayonnaise, and this has got this surface active properties. So similarly, surface active compounds can come from all different sources. They can be added to different food products. Leavening agents are the one which are actually, they produce carbon dioxide. They increase the volume in the bakery products, especially in the breads. Then the last class within the food preservatives is colorant, because most of the time the processing might reduce the color of a food. That would decrease the quality of that food, because the color is the most appealing factor in many foods, and the decision making for buying a food would depend upon the desirable colors as well. So there can be a lot of different colors. They can be natural, they can be synthetic, they might come from different sources. For example, in case of yellow colors, the yellow can come from annatto seeds, green can come from chlorophyll, orange from carotenoid. They are all brown from sugars. These are all basically natural compounds or natural colors that can be added to food. And similarly, there is a range of artificial colors as well, which are added to food in order to increase the color perception or acceptability of food. So this was all about the different groups of food preservatives and some of their functions that we can achieve in the food preservation or improving the quality of food.